All right, good morning, Ward Wrestling Live here. We have another amazing Florida wrestling coach here in our state who's taken over for a program a couple years ago, and he's already doing some big things. He's over at Central High School in Brooksville, and he's already coached up in the last 2 years. Now, mind you, I don't think they've had a really winning culture since maybe the 90s. So we've got him in the last 2 years. He's brought 7 people to regionals and one to state. So that's pretty good in the first 2 years there. So we have him here with us today, Coach Greg Climan. How are you, Coach? Welcome to the
Doing
show.
good. Thank you.
So I know that it looks like you're out of your house. So we see that we're hitting the other side of this, it looks like. Hopefully we don't get a second wind of this and we can continue to move on with life. Talk about your off season so far, man, and what you're looking forward to now that the gyms are going to be opening up.
Yeah, we over the summer last year, being my first summer of off season, I coach football too at Central, so there's a lot of crossover there with football players and wrestlers. And what I would do is after wrestling work or football workouts, we would open the wrestling room for an hour or so to let kids roll around, and it worked out really well actually for keeping in shape, keeping sharp, and recruiting football players to come hang out with us and roll around, see if you like it. And I don't know if we'll be able to do that this summer with restrictions and all that, but hopefully maybe in a month or so we can start rolling around. And last summer we had a lot of kids who went to Hernando High School, which is a really good program in our county too. I think they placed in duels this year, maybe 10th or 9th or something in the state. So they have an open gym for us, and we come roll around with them. So we all help each other out with that.
That's great, man. And so you've been there the last 2 seasons. Where'd you come from, Coach?
Bounced around a little bit after college. I was living in Southern Illinois, St. Louis area, coaching up there, and they didn't have a wrestling program, and we were actually looking to start one up. And then I ended up coming back down here closer to where I grew up, and took over this program 2 years ago. So that's kind of where I came from.
Nice, awesome. So Illinois, man, that means deep dish pizza, street popcorn in Chicago.
Oh yeah. Well, in Chicago, has great wrestling too.
Yeah, hot dogs with no ketchup, because if you put the ketchup, you go to jail.
Yeah, you get yelled at. I found that out quickly.
Well, that's awesome, man. So now you came down here, you took over Central High School. Talk about the culture and philosophy you're putting into that program.
Well, year one was rough for a lot of reasons, but I had 2 really, really good assistant coaches. I mean, we're all kind of co-head coaches, Dennis Harmon and Brian Pena. And Brian's actually an alum of Central, and he's a younger guy who came back to help, and he was with us in year 2 as well. But those guys helped. We all kind of worked together to build a culture there, and we very low numbers for the first year. A few returning wrestlers, a few new like freshman wrestlers who just want to try it out. So the first year was rough. We had about 20, 25 to start with, and ended up with like 6 or 7, just through attrition. And, the competition, we had a lot of younger guys. So once it gets really, really competitive and they're not winning as much as they think they should be, they drop off and start to not really like it too much. But the guys who stuck it out, those maybe 4 or 5 freshmen that we had, they came back this year and saw some success, which was really, really good, because now they can kind of be our guys to kind of send the message throughout the program that if you stick it out long enough, year 2, 3, 4, you'll see some success. And that's what we're doing right now. We tend to get a lot of younger guys, and we try to instill in them, it's all about hard work and putting in the right kind of work, and you'll see some success. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, awesome, man. And I know you kind of took over this program, and not too much money thrown your way. I know you're really just baby steps, and you're really trying to build a program on a budget, and talk about how you do that, and what you've been doing. And I don't know, I mean, you've been building it, but it's been on a budget. So but
Yeah,
talk about
yeah. It's well, so to give you some perspective, year one, we were in kind of a classroom in the gym for a wrestling room, and we wanted to get our own space. So last summer, with the help of some donors and a lot of hard work from our assistant coaches, we got our own wrestling room. So that was a big first step. Um, and then building relationships with the parents. You know, it was kind of startling with how much parental support we had this year compared to last year. And that's not only monetarily, but, you know, bringing food, showing up to meetings, picking up kids from practice, giving other kids rides home. You know, that all that stuff plays into support that the coaches don't have to worry about. And that was a big thing, is getting that strong parental group. We had probably 5 or 6 groups of parents that really helped us out all year and supported us and that kind of thing. And, you know, for our district, we have to pay all entry fees, which can be anywhere from $250 to $400 for a tournament. And, you know, multiply that by 8 to 10 tournaments, plus, you know, traveling to regionals, traveling to states. We went to JV states in Orlando the last 2 years, so we had to fund that. And but it all adds up. So we did a really good job from year one to year two of having a plan, fundraising, parental support, and it all kind of came together for us last year. So
That's
it worked
awesome.
out.
And I know that means a lot to you. You were mentioning to me, and note wise, I'm going back and forth, that just getting into the community and building the relationships there, and getting your kids out there and family there, and really trying to be in that kind of circle to help create awareness of the program. What do you think is the biggest thing that you really had to put forth to build that relationship inside your community and your town, and others other than the you know, the school facilitators?
Well, there's 5 high schools in Hernando County, and Central is near the bottom, if not the bottom, in quite a few sports, especially the 2 that I coach, reputation-wise and everything. So, you know, 2 years ago, I didn't know that. So going into tournaments and things like that, it was like, oh, we have a duel against Central, we're going to roll through them. And we had a couple of kids. We had 2 seniors and 3 juniors that kind of kept us in things. And then it was the rest of the weight classes. We couldn't fill weight classes, so that hurt us. And then we had a lot of young guys wrestling varsity out of necessity. So that was a shock for me, you know, seeing that. You know, I'm Central, so it hurts me a little bit to hear or see people kind of snicker at us or look at who they got and things like that. Well, building it like we did going into year 2, the first meet we went to, we had a full lineup and then some. We had like 20, 25 kids at the meet, and we had good-looking kids and kids who knew what they were doing. And it was just so much of a change from year 1 to year 2. That it was really, really refreshing to know that it can keep building and it can keep going, and there is light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to that. So that was really, really, that was the biggest obstacle we had when it comes to competition, was changing our name. You know, every time we talk to the kids before, the wrestlers before a meet, before a duel, anything like that, it's like, take this personal, you know, change the name of Central. You're wearing our stuff on your front and on your back, you know, represent us in a good way. And they did a really amazing job of that. The wrestlers did. So yeah, that was a big thing for us, was changing the name of Central and Central Wrestling. So
That's awesome. So hopefully now when when you show up at tournaments, you're getting at least appreciated a little more, or at least recognized, like, hey, that coach is doing a good thing. So yeah, and it's one of those things where from year 1 to year 2,
Citrus County is right above us, and Citrus has a pretty good wrestling program, Citrus High School, and so does Crystal River and all that. But, from in the first couple tournaments, we start getting invited to different practices and things like that. And coaches are recognizing we have some talent and we have dedicated coaches and things like that. And so it worked out to our benefit. I mean, I think people from year one to year two really a lot changed, but it was coming from the bottom. So we still have so much more to grow. And we're looking forward to that.
Awesome, man. Well, it sounds like you're doing a really good thing. What have you and your coaching staff been doing to change that culture and from a culture of losing to a culture of winning?
Well, competing. I mean, every practice is a competition. This year we actually had the opportunity to have wrestle-offs, so that helped us a bunch. It was a matter of last year they would wrestle people in their like weight classes and things like that, and we really didn't have the opportunity. We didn't want to scare kids off. We wanted to have a team and a lineup and things like that. But then once they get into the actual meets, those kids are, they're out for blood, for lack of a better term. So they don't have that level of competition in them. This year, they were competing every single day, every single exercise that we did. And it really changed things when it came to being in a meet, being able to listen to coaches, knowing situations, knowing how to get out of bad situations. We had a lot of young guys this year that got themselves into bad situations. So a lot of the times we were practicing how to get out of a bad situation. And it turned in, it actually helped a lot of kids. I think we took 3 or 4 freshmen or underclassmen to regionals. So it was really, really good for us.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. And, good wrestling around the state builds up the state, right? So what, I know you mentioned you came from Illinois and St. Louis and that kind of like the heartland of wrestling up there. What do you think you've brought here to Florida from your wrestling background that's really making a difference in the room?
I think seeing good programs and knowing kind of what those programs did and not really trying to imitate it, but, bringing a little piece here and there. We had a program when I was in St. Louis that was really, really competitive and really, really good. I didn't coach for them, but they were in the same athletic building as the other coaches so I would see them in the weight room. I would see them, their wrestling room. We used that. I coached track there. So we would use that. So we would, use their wrestling room for different things. And they would, we would see them practicing or hear them practicing. And it was, I think just bringing a lot of that stuff as well as, the other information. One of our assistant coaches has been in the county for, I think, 15 years coaching wrestling. So he's seen a lot and just trying to put that all in a pot and mix it up and hopefully get a good program out of it.
Now, have you got your guys involved in a local youth program there, or is there a kind of a funnel system in the county that's maybe a local club or something that you've kind of grown fond of and you've got your kids going there, or did you start one yourself?
Starting one ourselves is kind of the next step. Hernando High School has a good youth program, a great youth program. So does Springstead High School. So typically what happens is our kids go to those youth programs because they're welcoming and they know our kids going to be going to Central but it's all kind of, we all work together. So, and I know those coaches pretty well. Dave Pritz at Hernando has been a huge help with a lot of different stuff. And he's so welcoming with, first of all, our high schoolers wrestling with them over the summer and in the off season, and then the youth program. And then Mike LaRocca at Springstead, he's also welcoming. So it's really, really, that's nice to have. But our next step is starting our own youth program.
That's awesome. And Coach DeArmas down in South Florida, he says, man, it's hard to build a program from nothing. Keep working those boys, coach, and you'll see it pay off. Got to get those young kids in the mix. And,
that's well, too is we have a lot of our underclassmen wrestlers who have younger brothers and younger sisters that are coming to the meets, and they're seeing it and they want to. So that's where it starts. Our kids are really, really they're our Pied Pipers. When it comes to like selling our program and getting their friends out, getting their brothers and sisters out. So that's helping us. They love the program, and it shows because they're trying to get people involved. They're getting their parents involved. They're getting their brothers and sisters involved. So it's really helping us.
That's awesome, man. Well, man, it's good to hear, and congratulations on your success so far with that program. And I'll be rooting for you, and I wish you a ton of success there. And are you ready for the 10 questions?
Yeah.
All right, Culver's or Five Guys?
Culver's.
Stone crabs or king crabs?
King.
Weeki Springs or Homosassa Springs?
Probably Weeki Wachee. Either way, you're going to see some manatees. So
that's cool. West Shore or Pizza Villa?
Pizza Villa.
A good Reuben or a good grilled cheese?
Reuben.
Pine Island or Fort Island Beach?
Pine Island.
The Wildlife Sanctuary or Boyette's Grove?
I don't know either of those.
Okay, fair enough.
I need to get out.
The Tampa Zoo or the Tampa Aquarium?
Ooh. Zoo.
All right, fried grouper or a shrimp basket?
Grouper.
Round robin or an IBT double elimination?
IBT. We have some really good IBTs in Hernando County. There's Hernando had one, the Kiwanis, state known, 40 teams. It's a nut house, and it's in December, very beginning of the season, so it's crazy.
Yeah, and I read something about a Weeki Wachee tournament or something that.
Weeki Wachee has a good preseason, has a great preseason tournament, and the Quarry Hill at Springstead. We haven't been able to go the last 2 years because it's over New Year's break, but there's 3 or 4 really good IBTs in the area.
Awesome, man. Well, good for you. And I don't know Wildlife Sanctuary or Boyette's Grove either. I just saw them in the attractions when I was looking around your area to get some good 10 questions for you. So I need to get out more too.
Yeah, now I know. Now I know where to go now that we can go places.
Yeah. Hey, when you're drinking beer, you prefer a wheat or an IPA?
IPA, more bang for your buck.
I like it. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming on. And as I tell everybody, it's an honor to be learning from all these great wrestlers, coaches, referees, and it's been very fun for me. And I hope I've been creating a platform through all this that's been fun and worthwhile. So I appreciate you. I'll be rooting for you, and thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks. You're doing some great stuff, and I love watching your stuff. I mean, there's so much information out there, and it's just you're doing a great job. I mean, I really appreciate having me on, first of all, but getting all the good quality people. I mean, you're getting some great people on.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you can go to YouTube and find like the big names, right? You don't need me for that. But to me, the big names to me are the guys like you and the local guys and the nationwide guys that are in these high schools, in these colleges, building programs, referees, the club owners. I think one of my main goal was to get them heard as well. So that was my goal. And my buddy Shane McCall just said, Hernando County wrestling is no joke.
No, they're serious. I mean, we love going against them for the competition, and because they're always going to be well coached and no funny stuff, but those are the dudes to beat right there.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, that the whole county is got some great wrestling, so you're there, man, and you're not in a bad part of the state either. It's nice over there, so take care, enjoy yourself, have fun doing the honeydew list, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.